One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. Then let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. Metal and mayhem will never die. Rituals report and paves his way. Oh, legend in the making, day by day.
Well, well, well. We got another legendary day. What's up with everybody, man? I already have to restart my camera. Isn't that a fucking Monday move? You know what I mean? But hey, it's all right. We'll get through this and then I'll reset the camera and all that. It's like half a second behind for me. So my lips may not be syncing up with my mic at the moment, but don't worry. It's going to be fixed. I'm not going to do it right this second. But hey, much love, honor, and respect to all of you legends up in the building, man. Make sure you guys hit that like button before we get into the gnarliness of the world's news. We have a lot of shit going on that we're going to go ahead and discuss. Some that is and is not in the mainstream media. So make sure you guys hit that like button. It's absolutely free to do so. And what else is free is hitting that subscribe button down below for free as well. Also, please consider becoming a member starting at only $2.99 a month. It helps out the show immensely. And check it out, guys. We have members-only live streams every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. CST. We have a good-ass time, pretty uncensored over there as well. Follow my Instagram at BallValveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only me and my lifestyle, but as well as Millennial Food Time, the show. And yeah, we have a good-ass time over there. That's where I correspond with everybody, by the way. So if you guys want to get in contact with me, this is the way. Okay. And last but not least, if you guys would like to help out the show monetarily, of course, every super chat, gifted membership sign up, super stickers, all of that stuff is, of course, shouted out. But if you guys would like to get around that brutal 30% cut, you know what I mean, from YouTube, we have these scrolling down below for the remainder of the show. Okay. So we'll have that. And of course, all your messages are read. And real quick, before we get into the topics, before the show had even started, like 10, 15 minutes before, Jess White comes in with she's got the medium membership level, which is a full patch, by the way. So thank you for that, Jess. And she also gifted out a couple of more subscriptions before we had even started to you guys, or memberships. And she just gifted out another one right now. Well, thank you so much for that, by the way. I very much appreciate that. So let me go ahead and kind of rush this so I can reset my camera and whatnot, right? Okay. So Israel considers an attack on Iran, and we're going to discuss why that is, as well as, listen, man, what happened in, I think you guys may have saw it on my Instagram. If you guys follow me on my Instagram, you guys saw that there was some drones from Ukraine that were, of course, non-piloted. I mean, no one's actually in them, but now they're using them to hit like apartment complexes, big buildings. It's really kind of crazy to watch, you know what I mean? So we'll go into that here in a minute as well. But let's go ahead and get into the news coverage of Israel and Iran first. And let me fix my camera setup and all that, and then we'll get into it. All right. So this is off of live now from Fox. This is happening just as of like 3 hours ago. So, of course, like we always do through the anytime we're reporting, we'll skip through the bullshit and we'll eventually get up to current time, which is a very easy thing. We skip through a lot of bullshit in the mainstream. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. By the way, I see all you legends in here. I got Barbie up in here.
Welcome back.
Blair,
You're on live now from Fox. The time
Road Rage,
7:35 on the
Straight
East
Jacket,
Coast,
Hardwire.
and it is 4:35 on the West Coast. I do want to go international now as you take this live look over Khan Yunis in Gaza.
Damn,
Top
another one.
Israeli military officials reportedly calling for an attack inside of Iranian territory. That's according to a new report.
Oh, shit. Did you guys hear that? All right, so let me go ahead and reset the cam so I don't have to think about it anymore.
Over Khan Yunis in Gaza, top Israeli military officials reportedly calling for an attack inside of Iranian territory. That's according to a new report from Israel's Channel 12, which is not entirely clear on the intensity or level of the attack. There's still kind of a lot left to figure out there. Now, all of this comes as Iran's supreme leader has denied that terrorist groups like Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis function as Tehran's proxies. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei saying that if Iran, quote, takes action, it would not need any of them. As always, a lot to discuss out of the Middle East, so I do want to bring in Josh Haston, a correspondent with the Jewish News Syndicate. Thank you so much.
Boom, by the way. All right, we're backing at it. See, now my lips are synced up and shit. I'm sure it was all fucked up. What's up, Glare 1%er saying Merry Christmas to all for his, believe it or not, that's how the third month looks. So, by the way, thank you for that, Glare. Very much appreciate you, kind sir. As well as Jess also gifting out another one for you guys. Holy fucking shit. Thank you very much for that, Jess and Brother Glare. Very much appreciated.
For taking the time to be here with us this morning.
Oh, Hardwire. Fuck, man. He coming in hot. It's already Christmas up in this bitch, it looks like. Hardwire says for his 6 months, by the way, if anyone isn't busy, I put up a show for Christmas special, Insane Wheels Network Family Panel for 3 p.m. Eastern Christmas Day. Yes. So Hardwire, that was something I was going to actually talk to you about, and Glare as well. So I'm glad that you set that up because I'm going to go ahead and tune into that, meaning I'm going to go onto your StreamYard and then stream it from my end too, if that's cool. You know what I mean? It'll be a good ass time. But thank you for the 6 months, by the way. Yes, we're going to do a badass Christmas special tomorrow, or not tomorrow, the next day, okay? We will be doing that 2 p.m. CST, 3 p.m. EST. All right, we're going to get down with our bad selves. By the way, thank you for that, Hardwire. And hopefully, SNS, you're having a wonderful day as well, man. We're having a good one so far. We're getting down with our bad selves. Let's get into it.
Thanks a lot, Josh.
All right, so first off, I do want to talk about that report by Channel 12 as they say that there is a chance that we could actually see Israel attack inside Iranian territory. What does all of that mean, and what would be the overall significance of an attack like that?
This guy right here is actually pretty decent at what he does as well, even though he's from the Jewish News Syndicate, all right? Totally going to be biased in that aspect, but he does a damn good job not, fully going into that bias mode. Even with the small hat on.
Absolutely. So, according to officials, Iran is the head of the octopus. So the Houthis have been firing ballistic missiles at the state of Israel. So one of the top security officials in the last 24 hours here in Israel indicated that why not go after Iran directly? Why not cut off the head of the octopus? Iran, of course, still striving for nuclear weapons. That is the biggest threat, not only to Israel, but the entire Middle East and the entire world, really. So it may happen. Israel, of course, in October did strike in Iran after Iran fired ballistic missiles at the state of Israel.
Correct.
We took out key positions there in Iran, taking out their air defenses and a lot of their missiles.
Yo, Jess,
so it is
dropping like it's hot.
Could decide to strike Iran again.
To
send a message to them: stop funding the Houthis, and at the same time,
you're already at 6 right now off of those singles. And they're working. That's awesome. I'm glad that they're actually dispersing to people. But Jess, thank you so much for that, by the way.
Even perhaps more importantly, stop your pursuit of nuclear weapons.
Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei saying that the different terrorist groups that are there, you have Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthis, that they are not proxies of Tehran.
What's up, Tiffany? Good morning.
Also saying that they're not needed if Iran were to strike Israel. What do you make of that?
Yeah, number one, they are absolute proxies. Iran calls the shots. Again, the head of the octopus over the Houthis, Hamas, Hezbollah, groups in Iran or whatnot. So what the Iranian leader is trying to do right now is take away the attention from the fact that those groups are no longer the threat that they once were. Remember, Israel dealt significant blows to Hezbollah.
That's 7 right there, Jess.
We're in the process of dealing.
Shit. Oh, shit. Thank you for that.
Blows to
7.
The Houthis. So this is the Middle East. You try to show strength, and the Iranian leader
Martin
is basically saying, no, we don't need those proxies. Yes.
Brother Dean Aston, always good to see you, my man, over there in Israel. Hopefully you're having a wonderful afternoon, late afternoon, evening time right now.
He does need those proxies, just like he needed Syria. Syria, of course, in the orbit with Russia and Iran. And now,
yeah, you know, it's funny, but I'm sorry for stopping and going, but I got to address. So Hardwire, I even told my mom and dad that are up the road. I told them, like, be on the lookout for this shit because, yeah, I got something coming from Hardwire. And they're like, oh, okay, well, we haven't seen anything yet. So yeah. And also on my bell box, I check daily, didn't see anything yet. But thank you, Hardwire. Very kind, sir. I didn't even know you did that until yesterday. You're like, hey, be on the lookout for a package. Why? Man, I appreciate that. And Jess also coming in with another membership that's 8. We're at 8 now. Shit. And it is dispersing. So I do, I love that, It looked like it was an intentional attack to me. Well, we're going to see.
Iran is much weaker than they were several months ago and several days ago. I heard a report also, I believe it was the New York Times, reported in the last 24, 48 hours that Iran is suffering from a major lack of gas. They have to make decisions whether they're going to.
Yeah. Now that's what, 9? Were we at 8 or 9? Man, I've already lost count. And our boy Todd J got that one. That's awesome to see. Thank you, Jess.
Use those remaining gas reserves to help the individual homes.
I appreciate that, Hardwire. Thank you for thinking of me.
For government facilities. So Iran is in a world of trouble as a result of the fact that they don't have these proxies anymore, that Israel's already struck them, dealt us.
No way. You guys are way too fucking selfless. Like, way too kind. Like, I'm seriously mind blown. Like, from your guys' selflessness, like that shit is a trip to me. So I'm really, really thankful. I'm really grateful for all of you guys, not just for what you guys are doing in that aspect. I really cherish our friendship. You know what I mean? With all of you guys, I have a personal connection with like almost every single one of you guys. Another one, by the way, you must be at 10 now, Jess. Let me go ahead and look. Let me count it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're at 10. Yep. Shit. All right. Big 10 banger.
Serious blow to their defense systems. And it shows you just Iran, how they've used their money through the years.
Good morning, Carney.
To solve these problems with utilities or whatnot. They've used the money through the years to fund these proxies, to develop nuclear weapons.
No fucking way. Wow. Mr. Boulay. Holy shit. Just sent in a 50 spot. Wow. All right. He says, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Brother Mike, and the folks in chat. May we all have a joyous and safe holiday season. Roll Tide. Praise hell, praise Dale. You dig? Absolutely. Hey, thank you so much. We got Alabama's finest up in the building. So I very much appreciate you for this, man. This goes a long way. Thank you. Thank you very much, you guys. Wow, Mr. Boulay.
To develop nuclear weapons and their ballistic missiles program. So Israel may, in fact, need to strike sooner rather than later. And I think we'll have a lot of support once President Trump and his administration take over.
By the way, I want to see a fuck ton of likes. Everyone that's in here, I want to see a fuck ton of likes on that Mr. Boulay super chat, by the way. Hit that like button on that shit. As well as Road Rage coming in for his 1 fucking year, saying how many memberships until she gets it, Mike. Shit. Motherfucking Road Rage here for a fucking year as a member. My man. Thank you for that. Awesome, dude. Thank you for believing in me in the very beginning. You and Steve. I mean, shit, Hardwire. We got a lot of you guys that believed in me in the beginning and are still fucking here. Fucking legends.
20th of January.
We heard from White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan saying that he's more concerned about Iran building a nuclear bomb now. So what risk?
I'm not really sure what you celebrate. Either way, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, either way. You know, I'm not really sure what you celebrate. But hey.
Would a nuclear bomb with Iran really have on Israel, but also on the U.S. and U.S. allies?
Yeah, an Iranian bomb, an Iranian nuclear, Iran nuclear would be an existential threat to the state of Israel and a threat to the entire Western world. Remember, I think I've said it to you before. Iran views Israel as
okay. So that's around 2 o'clock my time. By the way, hardwire. So 2 o'clock today. So this is irrelevant to you guys. You guys don't care about any of this shit. But I'm gonna go get a haircut and shave today, right after the show. And so by the time I come back, I'll check my mailbox and make sure if it's in there or not. And I'll let you know either way. But thank you, by the way, Hardwire. We got Jess gifting another one, by the way. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
Shit. We're on 11 now for Jess. Jess, you're going fucking crazy. I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Little Satan views the United States as the great Satan. Also, Saudi Arabia, of course, and other countries in the Middle East who have either formed normalization deals with Israel or on the verge of forming normalization deals with Israel. They are absolutely concerned that Iran could turn their nuclear weapons
Merry Christmas
on them as well. Remember, Iran shares borders with these countries, so they're very concerned. To us, this is something Prime Minister Netanyahu has been saying for decades now. We cannot let Iran go nuclear. He has ramped up those.
Actually, I think you're fucking absolutely, you or Steve. It was one. It was either or. I think it was actually you, Road Rage. I think you were the very, very first member. I do believe that you're right about that, actually. Wow, that's fucking crazy. That's fucking awesome right there. There's only one person that can have that shit. So, man, Road Rage, I appreciate that.
Over the last, let's say, 9-10 years or so, with his address there in Congress, I believe it was back in 2015. And now we are perhaps at the point of no return. Now that Syria has fallen, Iran feels cornered. And as the spokesperson there for the White House said, Iran may try to establish a nuclear weapon even faster now that they feel that they're caged in, that the walls are crumbling all around them with the fall of Syria, the weakening of Hezbollah and Hamas. So we have to pay attention.
Brother War
to that.
Gorilla,
Israel
good morning, my man.
Go alone if necessary.
Shit, you guys are coming in hot this fucking morning. God damn, this is awesome. I'm right now, I'm totally fucking beside myself. But you guys are super extremely selfless. We got Clover Tack coming in with another for his second month, actually, saying Merry Christmas, losers. Hey man, I very much appreciate you. See, I don't even have to say nothing. The chat handles it. You know what I mean? So hey, very much appreciate you, Clover Tack. Favorite gun tubers out here.
Support administration in Washington to assist, if necessary, in taking out the Iranian nuclear threat.
When we talk about Iran's proxies here, Netanyahu said that Israel is actually going to step up its fight against the Houthis in Yemen because the rebels, quote, threaten world order. Is Israel maybe able to focus its attention more on the Houthis because there is that ceasefire?
Man, we got a lot of shit going on in the Middle East right now, and then let alone what's happening around the world, especially in the reference of Russia, Ukraine. Totally fucking wild. Martin, by the way, he says, how goes it, everyone? How goes it? Hopefully you're having a wonderful morning so far, enjoying your Christmas holiday season so far. And you also got a gifted membership from Jess. Hell yeah.
That is underway there with Hezbollah, and you also have the possibility of a ceasefire soon with Hamas. Does that allow Israel to use maybe more of its resources against the Houthis?
No doubt about it. That was one of the reasons that Israel agreed to a ceasefire with Hezbollah, is that it could focus more on Hamas. And now that the Houthis have struck Israel, I believe 3 times at least this week, a total of about 400 ballistic missiles and drones fired at the state of Israel since October the 7th. I don't think people realize how much damage they've tried to inflict on the state of Israel. Thank God, not as much as they would like. But now Israel can really focus on, again, the head of the octopus, Iran, and their proxy, the Houthis, who don't seem or haven't seemed to have gotten the message as Israel dealt a severe blow to both.
Thank you,
to
Jess.
Hezbollah and to Hamas. The prime minister warning that the Houthis could be next. We did strike them, taking out 3 key ports just several days ago, taking out energy infrastructure.
Oh, you ain't got to worry. Straight's in here right now.
But there could be more attacks against the Houthis, or, as we said just a few minutes ago, directly against Iran to prevent them.
Shit, Brother Pitbull sends in 2 British pounds, by the way, saying, can we all wish LJ, my son, a happy 3rd birthday, please? Absolutely. Happy birthday, my man. 3rd birthday? That's dope. That's awesome. I have a 2.5-year-old, so I'm very close to you on that. And I know how it feels to be in that range. So, yeah, man, that's awesome. Happy birthday to your little
funding from sponsoring one of their main proxies, this in Yemen, that being the Houthi terrorist organization.
All right, Josh Haston there with the Jewish News Syndicate. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. We appreciate it.
Have a great day.
You too. And you are taking a live look over Khan Yunis there in Gaza, 7:42 on the East Coast and 4:42 on the West Coast. We are going to head to a quick 2-minute break.
No,
but
the fuck
on the
we
other
ain't.
side, we're going to head back to the U.S., specifically the Orlando, Florida area. We'll check in with Morgan Parrish over at our Fox 35 Orlando station.
Fucking Are We Not Men coming in hot. Saying Merry Christmas, chat. Timeouts are all I have to give. Shit. Man, I appreciate you, kind sir. That's your 3rd month, man. Wow. Appreciate you. I didn't know it was already 3 months that you've been hanging around in here.
As she has the latest after a child was injured during a drone show that's coming up here in just 2 short minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna skip that. We're gonna go ahead and skip all that.
That is where the city's.
Okay, so there's a couple of things that here in the United States that we are gonna go ahead and talk about on this live stream. We have a couple of things. I'm not sure if this is directly it.
Holiday drone show turned unexpected as a young child was injured. I do want to bring in Morgan Parrish with our Fox 35 Orlando team. She is following the latest details here. Good morning, Morgan. A very sad story that is still developing.
Josh, good morning. Yeah, very sad, very scary.
What's up, VT? We just finished with Israel just now. So we're moving on into the rest of the news coverage right now. Wait, one more. Shit.
Definitely a different scene out here this morning than what it was like on Saturday night. Hundreds of people out here for that drone show. And it's hard to imagine seeing them up in the sky and watching them crash down into a crowd. 7-year-old Alexander, he is in the hospital and hopefully he has a speedy recovery. But his family says that he actually underwent open heart surgery as a result from the accident. Now, we also spoke with a drone expert.
Merry Christmas, homie.
Typically
you and your
happens
family
during these synchronized drone shows is that these drones are led by GPS. So
okay, so it was a GPS. You know those, okay. So she just said it because I was wondering what the fuck, why? Okay, so all these drones that come up and you've got thousands of these motherfuckers up in the air and they're doing a light show and they're doing like configurations, turning it into an airplane and then turning into a Christmas tree and all this shit. So those are all like remote. Obviously they're all remote, but they're actual GPS. Like it gives you the coordinates to build the picture. You know what I mean? So one of them went fucking haywire and hit this 7-year-old boy in the face. What happened?
Says likely what happened was there was some type of interference between the base station and the drone. But let's take a look at the video from Saturday night. You can see this is actually footage of the drones set up in formation before a few of them began crashing down into the crowd. The FAA confirmed it happened around 6:45 Saturday night when several small drones collided into each other. And 7-year-old Alexander's parents say one of them knocked him out, sending him to the hospital. His doctors said his heart rate was abnormally high, and his parents said he had an injury to his chest from where he was hit.
So there they are.
Before they went down, the green one went straight at us, and I went to the left, and my son went to the right, and it hit my son.
Why would they all start falling out of the sky, Hardwire? Like, did they have like a fucking malfunction in the GPS thing? Or let's see. I mean, Oh, there goes one.
And this is
one
the
went
second
flying.
year the city used the
Flying.
vendor Sky
Boom.
Elements
Did you
for
see
the
how
holiday
fast I
drone
was?
show. The company told us in a statement,
Wham.
Sky Elements Drones wants to extend our sincere hope for a full and speedy recovery
Whoa, they're
to those
dropping going
impacted at
everywhere.
our Lake Eola show in Orlando on Saturday, December 21st.
That's crazy.
The well-being of our audience is our utmost priority, and we regret any distress or inconvenience caused. We know that they are also working with the FAA to try to.
Yo, that is fucking crazy. Pitbull, that is something that could be hacked theoretically, right? And then you could end up using those fucking drones to terrorize motherfuckers. That shit is crazy, yo. What the fuck? Yo, bees are coming in hot as well, gifting the membership out to you guys. Thank you, brother Beezer. Hopefully you're doing well, kind sir, over there in South Florida, my man. Iranian hacked. It could be. It could be. I wouldn't put it past them. We got brother Jay up in the building saying, good morning. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay blessed. Amen. Much love, honor, respect to you, kind sir. Thanks for hanging out with us this beautiful morning. Hopefully you all are enjoying your guys' Christmas holiday season so far. The light shows the drones are crazy, cool, but one wrong input can cause chaos. And we see that. I mean, we just saw that fucking thing, not only fall out of the sky, but like literally shoot as fast as it could into a kid. Like, that's crazy. That's fucking wild. Oh, man, I feel terrible. Just White also gifted out another one, by the way. Oh, shit. What are you up to? 13, 14? Shit, girl. Man, that's crazy. Thank you so much, by the way. God, this shit is crazy. Is it still dispersing, by the way? Okay, good. It actually is dispersing. Black Dragon got it.
Figure out exactly what happened.
Thank you, by the way.
We're keeping an eye out on an update from the FAA. We're also hoping to hear back from 7-year-old Alexander's family on how he is recovering. Josh reporting live in Lake Eola. I'm Morgan Parrish, Fox 35 News.
Morgan, thank you so much.
That's
and of
crazy,
course, our
Jay.
thoughts and our prayers are with that boy's family. 7:48 on the East Coast and 4:48 on the West Coast. We do have to sneak in our final 2-minute commercial
No, we do
break.
not. Nope. We do not need to do no fucking commercial break. Not necessary here.
Back here on live.
All right, we're doing
from Fox.
Okay, so before he even says it, I see over here. I want to see. This is something I always do in the media sphere. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of game. It's called reading. You know what I mean? When we have like headlines and all that stuff, I read everything that's on the screen. Some people just watch to listen. And that's also cool, by the way. I mean, I actually recommend you do watch it rather than not. But this is when you want to go a little step further, and this is very simple. It's just reading what the headlines say, what the top stories say, stuff like that. So let's check it out. So Live Now says the top stories right now are Biden commutes sentences of 37 federal death row inmates. Holy shit. And then we got the Maginoni, fucking the character that killed the healthcare CEO, set to appear in court today in CEO murder case. Now, he did just appear right before I got on live, so I'll just go ahead and let you guys know that he pleaded not guilty. And then it'll go from there. So today it was just he's just appearing to essentially say, guilty or not guilty, motherfucker. And then that was it. So anyways, we know that story. And then Nissan and Honda announces plans to merge, creating world's number 3 automaker. That's fucking interesting. We're not going to really pay attention to that, but that is interesting that is happening.
On the East Coast and 4:50 on the West Coast. Do want to get back to our top stories
you just gift
that
out
we are
another
following
2?
right now.
You did.
We do know that Luigi Man.
You just gave out another 2 while I read that motherfucker. Holy shit, yo. All right, let me count this up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. You're up to 14 right now, Jess. Thank you.
Mangione, the man
Holy
who is
shit.
charged in connection with the murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson over in Midtown Manhattan, is expected to be arraigned at some point today in New York.
What's up,
on
Jack?
State charges. Our Fox 5 New York team is following all of the developments and will bring them to you the second.
I did see that, by the way, Papa. Biden also pardoned a moonshiner. And then this was the big story of the pardons today, or the big thing regarding not pardons. The one thing that is regarding Biden is this, the top headline right here, sentences of 37 federal death row inmates. But yeah, anyways.
We do get them. We also know that Nissan and Honda have announced their plans to merge into one that will form the world's number 3 leading automaker there. So we'll make sure to bring you more on that as we do get it. And President Biden commuting the sentences of 37 federal death row inmates. I do want to take you out to this live image. This is showing.
I know a handful of them motherfuckers, Bob.
The White House in D.C. as we get to more on that. President Biden announcing today that he is commuting the sentences of 37 of the 40 people on federal death row, converting their punishments to life imprisonment just weeks before President-elect Donald Trump is going to.
Wow, let me back that up a little bit.
7 of the 40 people on federal death row, converting their punishments to life imprisonment just weeks before President-elect Donald Trump is going to take office. The move spares the lives of people convicted in killings, including the slayings of police and military officers, people on federal land, and those involved in deadly bank robberies or drug deals, as well as the killings of guards or prisoners in federal facilities. It means just 3 of the federal inmates are still going to face execution. Those include the man.
Listen, we're honored that you're a part of the Breakfast Club, Breyer. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking family here. This is not a normal YouTube channel, I don't think. You know what I mean? Like how we really have we really love each other here. We meet up in person and shit here. Like, yeah, it's for real.
Who carried out the 2015 racist slayings of 9 Black members of Mother Emanuel AME Church over in Charleston, South Carolina, the 2013 Boston Marathon bomber, and the man who fatally shot 11 congregants in Pittsburgh's Tree of Life Synagogue back in 2018. Biden said in a statement, quote, "I have dedicated my career to reducing violent crime and ensuring a fair and effective justice system." Quote, "Today I'm commuting the sentences of 37 of the 40 individuals on federal death row to life sentences without the possibility of parole. These commutations are consistent with the moratorium my administration has imposed on federal executions in cases other than terrorism and hate-motivated mass murder."
Yeah, this is crazy.
The Biden administration in 2021 announced
definitely a what the fuck moment
moratorium on federal capital punishment to study the protocols used, which suspended executions during.
Good morning to you, Miss Lotus, over there in Florida. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning so far. And Merry Christmas to you.
But Biden actually had promised to go
Evil
further
Rick,
on
my
the
man.
issue in the past, pledging to end federal executions without the caveats for terrorism and hate-motivated mass killings. While running for president in 2020, Biden's campaign website said that he would, quote, "work to pass legislation to eliminate the death penalty at the federal level."
Yes, I'm going to be doing my show tomorrow. And then I'm going to be doing, like, nothing stops. Like, this week is still going to be the exact same schedule, just so everyone knows. I'm going to be doing, the only thing that I have added is on Christmas Day, 3 p.m., right? 3 p.m. EST. Correct me if I'm wrong, Hardwire. But we put together, well, Hardwire put it together, a panel for us for the Insane Wheels Network. We're going to have an actual Christmas episode hangout. You know, it's going to be a good ass time, kind of like what we did for Thanksgiving. And he just confirmed yes, by the way. So I'm going to be doing my show tomorrow. I'm going to be doing this on Christmas Eve. I'm going to be doing my show on Christmas Day. And, well, I guess it's going to be 2 shows Christmas Day. So we're getting down. We're getting down. We're gonna have a good ass time with the Insane Wheels Network and the Breakfast Club, man.
And incentivize states to follow the federal government's example. Similar
Brother Hook Dog, Merry
appear
Christmas,
on
man.
Biden's re-election website before he left the presidential race in July, handing things over to Vice President Kamala Harris. Trump, who does take office on January 20th, has spoken frequently of expanding executions. In a speech announcing his 2024 campaign, Trump called for those, quote, "caught selling drugs to receive the death penalty for their heinous acts." He later promised to execute drug and human smugglers and even praised China's harsher treatment of drug peddlers. During his first term as president, Trump also advocated for the death penalty for drug dealers. Again, if you are just joining us here, we are learning that President Biden has announced that he is commuting the sentences of 37 of the 40 people on federal death row, converting their punishments to life imprisonment weeks before President-elect Donald Trump.
Yeah. I guarantee you those motherfuckers that haven't been sentenced are going to be like, what in the fuck? No way.
Does take over. We'll bring you all of the developments here as we do get them. Again, taking a look at the White House, I do want to send it over to Edward Lawrence with Fox Business as he has more on a speech from last night from Donald Trump.
What's up, Steve? Good to see you, by the way.
50 states shifted toward the Republican Party.
In his first rally-sized speech, since decisively winning the 2024 election, President-elect Donald Trump touted the GOP's winning streak while addressing supporters in Arizona.
Not only did we reclaim the White House, we also took back the U.S. Senate, and we won the largest popular vote majority for House Republicans in a presidential year since 1928. That's a pretty good thing.
Trump's since 1928. Wow, I didn't know that.
One day after President Joe Biden, still at work in the Oval Office, signed a government funding bill Saturday. Biden saying in a statement, quote, "This agreement represents a compromise, which means neither side got everything it wanted, but it rejects the accelerated pathway to a tax cut for billionaires that Republicans sought, and it ensures the government can continue to operate."
Oh, shit. We've got to do a real quick call to action. Barbie's calling it out. Yo. Make sure we hit that like button. If you guys are just tuning in, make sure you guys hit that like button. It's the #1 metric of all of YouTube. Helps out the show immensely, and it's free to do so. And if you guys are brand new, hit that subscribe button. It's also free. We do world news and geopolitics all the way around the world, man. And we do that shit every single fucking day except for Sunday, you know. And we still break news Sunday. Yeah,
at full capacity.
Thank you for that, by
on
the
Capitol
way.
Hill, Democrats marked the moment by urging for increased bipartisanship heading into 2025.
We have differences of opinion, but the issue is our humanity and trying to
really time for this.
Build and strengthen the American family.
For their part, Republicans less than 30 days away from taking full control of the U.S. government work to reassure the American people Elon Musk is an asset to Congress, not an outsized influence as slammed by Democrats.
They dumped over 1,500 pages on us. And Elon Musk, using the tool of Twitter, brought transparency to the entirety of it. So I appreciate the fact that Elon Musk made this transparent and that we were able to actually improve this.
Ahead of his inauguration, President-elect Donald Trump saying he will take back the Panama Canal, adding that...
See, now it's really Christmas, Breyer. Once you manage to be able to steal some cookies and get away with it in the kitchen and shit like that, dude, you win. You're a winner. Just chalk it up as an entire win for the season. Yes, sir.
The current arrangement with the United
Christmas
States
is here, bitches.
is a ripoff. In Phoenix, Edward Lawrence, Fox Business.
Dang,
Edward,
pothead.
thank you so much for that report.
Left-handed tobacco, by the way.
A live look over at the Capitol now as the first vote of the new House next month, when lawmakers are sworn in, will be electing a House Speaker. That leaves Mike Johnson very little time to calm any sort of criticism after facing blowback over the near government shutdown. When Kevin McCarthy was ousted as House Speaker, Johnson was not the top choice, but emerged as a frontrunner when the Republican Party had trouble agreeing on a replacement. The near shutdown exposed the limits of Johnson's influence over his Republican majority and his connection with President-elect Donald Trump. Johnson has told Trump that he will ensure raising the debt limit in the new year, and he's been at Mar-a-Lago at Madison Square Garden beside Trump, but also beside him at the Army-Navy game. House Speaker Johnson has said that Trump was, quote, certainly happy with the final deal to prevent the federal government shutdown. I do want to bring in a great friend of the show here. We have Rich Rubino, political analyst and historian, to kind of break all of this down for us. Rich, as always,
I'm
thank
actually
you so
very
much
interested
for being here.
Very interested in this. And Rich, he actually does it. He's kind of a goofy dude, but he actually has a lot of knowledge, dude. This guy, he really is very good at what he does. There's only been a couple of times where I was like, But without me watching this, I'd love to see his analysis on this.
Thank you so much for having me on again, Josh.
All right, so we just kind of discussed it here, but I do want to get a little bit deeper into it. Does that near government shutdown reflect on Johnson's leadership of the House in any way?
Well, I think it does to a certain degree in that what it shows is that there are many conservative Republicans who are not necessarily going to be simpatico with Mike Johnson. I think that absolutely infuriates Donald Trump, and that's why Donald Trump perhaps will not be as much of an ardent supporter of Mike Johnson as he certainly has in the past. That's why you're hearing rumblings of other potential candidates running for speaker next time around. It's very hard to be Speaker of the House in a caucus where you literally have a majority of less than 5 seats. And the next Congress, when there'll be 3.
Hold the phone, bro. Jess, are we at 15 now? 15 singles she's did. That was fucking awesome, by the way. Thank you for that. Went out to Scott. All right, all right. Hey, Jess, thank you very much. Like, your patronage is insane. Thank you very much for the support to the channel, for real. It helps immensely.
While there'll be 3 special elections waiting for Matt Gaetz, for example, will resign, and then Congressman Mike Waltz and Elise Stefanik potentially joining the administration. You might have potentially a 1-seat majority. It's a very delicate balance that Mike Johnson has in the Republican side of the House.
We've seen Mike Johnson, as I mentioned, alongside Trump quite a bit. He's gone to Mar-a-Lago. He's taken...
What's up, brother RP? Good to see you, my man. Hopefully you're having a wonderful, wonderful morning so far. I know we all are, for damn sure. And hopefully you're enjoying your Christmas, season so far, man.
Photos with him.
Good to see you.
He was just at the Army-Navy game. They were in the same box, and they were very close together and seemed to be...
Hey, I'm always at the high-end clubs when I work. All right, because that sexy leg that I got, man, you should see that carbon fiber leg wrapped around a motherfucking pole. We get down on like shit. It's a lot of money. Listen, $20 is $20, okay? But for me, it's like 2,000 is 2,000. Just to show up. Oh yeah, no, we make bread.
Be having a lot of conversation. So
what
is that?
Jess, by the way, with another, that's like 16 now. Holy fuck. Yo.
Like at this point, and as you mentioned, it could change.
Well, certainly on the surface, it is very positive. It is very good. But Mike Johnson is very much somebody who certainly is a supporter of Donald Trump. He comes from a congressional district that is overwhelmingly conservative, that Donald Trump is very popular, wins over 60% of the vote. It's certainly in Mike Johnson's best interest to have as good a relationship with Donald Trump as possible. Theoretically, if he does go against Donald Trump, or if he's seen as weak, all Donald Trump has to do is go to Twitter, not only to potentially oppose him as Speaker of the House, but also potentially to have a primary challenger in his Louisiana congressional district. So right now, at least on the surface, it's very good, but you can definitely see that there is certainly some tension that is proverbially brewing.
I need to check my
Can you explain the overall role of the Speaker of the House? It's something that a lot of people don't necessarily fully understand. So can you kind of break that down for me?
Holy fuck.
Yes, so the Speaker of the House, in some countries, the Speaker of the House is a lot more ceremonial, and it's not necessarily a partisan role. In the United States of America, the Speaker of the House, under the Constitution, the Speaker of the House does not have to be a member of the House of Representatives. Every Speaker of the House thus far.
This guy, he's a really good political commentator, but man, sometimes he gets wrapped up in his words. He does do that. I think he's a little bit socially awkward, you know what I mean? But he does a fucking good job, I gotta admit.
Has been a member of House of Representatives. But what happens is currently there's 435 voting members of the House of Representatives, and they vote on a Speaker of the House, and you need 218 votes to elect usually, and so far, even though the Constitution does not require it, it has been a member of the body. They'll vote for one member of the body. That person then appoints people to, for example, the steering committee, who then try to figure out who should be in certain committees for the majority party. So he's a partisan figure. He or she is a partisan figure, but they're also a ceremonial figure. Certainly when the president delivers the State of the Union address, right behind him is the Senate president, who is the vice president of the United States, and then right adjacent to him or her is the Speaker of the House, who is essentially considered the person who runs the United States House of Representatives. But a lot of that is ceremonial, and they can always have another vote to try to get somebody else to supplant the current Speaker of the House. But
I got to recount. I think we're at 19 now, Jess. You wildin'. Thank you very much. Damn, I'm beside myself.
Say it's always
Seriously.
been a voting member, but it does not have to be.
And
Would
another.
you be surprised if Mike Johnson was not reelected House Speaker come January?
No, I wouldn't. I think that there's a lot of tension. I think the Freedom Caucus, which has almost omnipotent in the Republican Party, views him as kind of a lightweight. They believe that he's negotiating too much with the Democrats. I think that, you know, in order for him to be elected, he needs pretty much monolithic Republican support, and he does not have that right now.
Yeah, a lot of any Christian society pretty much does. For the, I mean, there's places in Africa, you know, I mean, that it's celebrated. It's kind of interesting how that works, but as a majority, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if majority of Canadians celebrate it and a majority of Australians celebrate it. Like, here in America, the majority of Americans celebrate. I would say as a majority, yeah, it would be Christmas. Just coming in with another one, by the way. That's 20. No, that's 19 now, I think. I'm going to have to recount, but holy fuck, dude. I'm going to count it up right now.
Now, so what does that mean? It means it could have been just one of those nightmare scenarios like we had last year, where Matt Gaetz, said that they put out a motion to vacate the chair, and they tried to nominate someone else, and they had 2 weeks and without having a speaker.
Okay, we're at 19.
And eventually, Mike Johnson became the speaker. Mike Johnson was kind of the undercard, if you will. He was not one of the favorites. But I think others like Congressman Tom Amir, the majority whip from Minnesota, is certainly a possibility. Jim Jordan, the House Judiciary Committee, is a possibility. Chairman is a possibility.
Much love, brother Lee.
Maybe
be safe out there, man.
Caucus will be a possibility as a new speaker. But I think that there is certainly a lot of excoriation or criticism, if you will, toward Mike Johnson, the Republican Party, and he really needs just about unanimous support in the Republican Party, if he has potentially only a one-seat majority, to maintain his role as Speaker of the House in the next Congress.
When you talk about the majority that the Republicans do have, we're talking about control of the presidency as well as the Senate and the House. How does that kind of change the dynamic overall when you talk about just the general situation?
What's up, brother GEG? Good to see you, man.
Politics there
Good morning.
in D.C.
Yes, well, they have the trifecta, but they don't have the trifecta as much as, say, Franklin Roosevelt or Lyndon Johnson or Bill Clinton had it for the Democrats. They certainly... First of all, in the United States Senate, the new majority will be 53 to 47. And in order to get legislation passed, one thing you need to do is you need to kill a filibuster. A filibuster is essentially where they delay a bill and eventually it goes kind of by the wayside. You basically need 60 votes to do that.
And it happens all the fucking time.
You need 60. In other words, it makes it so that there's 60 votes rather than 50 votes to get legislation passed, because it's a motion called cloture, which essentially kills the filibuster and allows for a vote to vote for 50 votes. You get reconciliation. The United States Senate, though,
Lappy,
even with reconciliation, which means that you need to get something passed with 50 votes, not 60 votes. Here's the obstacle. You have Susan Collins from Maine, who's up for re-election in 2026 in a state that voted for Joe Biden last time around, somebody who wants to show her moderate bona fides, and what better way to do that than to go against her own party.
Motherfucking brother Bees are coming in hot as well, by the way. Shit. My man, thank you so much for that. I think that was the second one, I think, on this stream.
Lisa Murkowski, Republican from Alaska, very moderate, has said that she really doesn't even appreciate the party system. She's kind of a Republican by default. Then you have senators like Bill Cassidy from Louisiana, who's kind of a wild card, who voted for Donald Trump's conviction last time in the United States Senate. And then in the House of Representatives, with potentially three United States House of Representatives.
I like that, by the way. You're like, yeah, I'll just make it 20 right now. Yeah, I see what you did.
Republican resigning to either take a job in the Trump administration, or in Matt Gaetz's case, perhaps host a television show. You're literally going to have a one-seat majority. And what does that mean? A couple of things. First of all, it means that every Republican could potentially.
Hey, you're absolutely fucking right about this, by the way, Papa. And you're spot on. It says, I think he's highlighting the biggest issues we face. Yes. They're all focused on being reelected instead of doing their damn fucking jobs. Yes. Ding, 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 ding. 100%. Yep.
be the Joe Manchin that their Democrats and Republicans both have to negotiate with to get to support them, to get to support the legislation. So from the Republican side, I could see a scenario where Donald Trump and the new speaker really negotiating almost single-handedly with some of the more moderate members like Don Bacon, for example, of Nebraska.
Shit, we got Jess coming in with a 5 spot, by the way. Appreciate you. She says Christmas Eve today. That's right. You guys are time travelers over there. Drink day or day drinking tradition here. Cheers, motherfuckers. We do celebrate Christmas, but mostly Christmas Eve. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. That's awesome. And thank you for answering, by the way, if people celebrate it, over there. And by the way, now you're at 20. So I'm going to give you a double on that. That's 20. Fucking thank you, guys. All of you guys that are contributing to the channel just by even watching, man. I'm very appreciative of all of you guys being here. Sincerely.
Or Mike Lawler.
Can't do this shit without you guys.
Represent congressional districts that voted for Joe Biden last time around. It's in their self-interest, and self-interest is probably the #1 rule of human civilization, to vote against their own party. So you really have a scenario where the Republicans try to bring as much largesse potentially to those congressional districts, and you're really going to kind of see how the sausages are made, if you will.
Let's talk a little bit about the near government shutdown, because it sounds as though it was, quote unquote, a temporary fix, because odds are, I imagine, we could potentially be in the same situation when everything does expire in March. Do you anticipate that we are going to be in that same spot come March?
I think the chances are about 50-50. Obviously, there's a congressional resolution signed by President Joe Biden, which allows the government to function at current levels, current financial levels through March 14th. Next time around, I can see that same scenario happening again. The question is, what will Donald Trump sign? Will Donald Trump potentially let there be a shutdown? He's in a very interesting position, because he is somebody that, even though many members of the Freedom Caucus, which is the conservative caucus in the United States House of Representatives, come from congressional districts where Donald Trump is extremely popular, they're actually to the right of Donald Trump. By that, I mean, they told their constituents when they ran for election or re-election respectively, that they would not be in favor of raising the debt ceiling, meaning allowing how much the United States can borrow annually. Well, Donald Trump, in order to get some of his spending plans passed in the United States Congress, in order to for example, his deportation measures, his tax cuts, he needs to raise that debt ceiling, and his opposition is going to be with the conservative.
Yeah, no, that is going to be true when he does ask for the debt ceiling to go up, and there is going to be pushback, but there's no other way around it at this point.
Conservative bloodline, or conservative wing, that is, of the Republican Party. And then, of course, he also, if he goes too far that way, then the folks, the Don Bacons and the Mike Lawler.
Yeah, that's the only way to have it, bro. It's the only way to have it, Road Rage. I wouldn't have it any other fucking way, my man.
The political world can show some opposition, saying that the government should potentially be spending more. So he's really in a very delicate or precarious position, if you will. But I can really see a scenario where the government does shut down come March 14th.
When we talk about the government shutdown, we are taking a live look here. This is over at the White House. But what do you make of not really seeing or hearing from President Biden during that whole potential shutdown? We were getting a lot from Trump as well as lawmakers, but not so much from President Biden, who is in office for just about another month.
It's very surreal. I think it kind of lends credence to those who say that Joe Biden was not necessarily up to the job the last year in office. That being said, what we don't know is what he's doing behind the scenes. Potentially, he might be working to try to get something passed. He did get the fact that there was a congressional resolution that he actually signed. We don't know if he's actually whipping the votes, meaning he's calling Democratic members of Congress, telling them to vote for it. We just don't know what his position has been. The problem was he doesn't really have much of a public schedule. And once again, that kind of lends credence to certainly his opponents, who believe that he was not really up to it this year. But we really don't know. This is something that's going to be in the history books, and 5 years down the road, we'll know what role he really played in this episode.
On that same note, we are just about
fucking crazy. And Brother Beezer, thank you so much for your patronage as well today, kind sir. Hopefully you have a wonderful rest of your day. And we'll see you very soon, hopefully tomorrow.
A month away from President-elect Donald Trump being inaugurated. So is it normal that we are hearing much more from him than we are hearing from current President Biden?
Yes, absolutely. There's always more. First of all, the media coverage. A lame duck president does not get nearly as much media coverage as the person who's going to be president, right, for the next 8 years. Sometimes during that transition period, there's something that the outgoing president does that just has to warrant, that has to warrant media coverage. It has to warrant this either support or opposition to the American people. I think of back in 1991, for example, 1992 rather, when George H.W. Bush sent troops to try to fight the.
He's good on his dates.
To go over to Somalia, for example, that garnered a lot of attention. Bill Clinton's at the time worked kind of in tandem with George H.W. Bush, saying that he also supported the policy of trying to help the starving people of Somalia. But Bill Clinton had supported it, so he was getting a little bit of attention for that. But George H.W. Bush, was getting attention for when you're actually sending troops out there. Usually there's kind of last minute pardons too.
Yeah, there is.
President George H.W.
I mean, we're seeing that actively right now, and there's going to be more of that from Biden, of course. But it's happening. He started the whole process
Bush,
early.
For example, pardoned a series of people who were involved in Iran-Contra. Bill Clinton, in his last day of office, pardoning his former Whitewater business partner, Susan McDougal, for example. So that gets a little bit of attention, but usually the attention is usually garnered toward the new administration.
All right. Rich Rubino, as always, thank you so much.
Brother Joseph, my man, says, good morning, Mr. Ball, breakfast crew, BNC and all the haters. No cap.
Stop the cap.
Which is Breakfast Club, by the way.
For taking the time to be here and help break it down. Anything else you want to add about really any of this before I let you go?
Just that this is an extremely precarious position for the Republican Party because they do have the trifecta, but they have such a slim majority. They're going to have such a slim majority in the House of Representatives. And I think Donald Trump probably knows that politics 101 is that if you get elected or reelected, the first year, you have 1 year really to govern. The second year is essentially everyone's campaigning. The congressmen are campaigning for reelection. The president's on the campaign hustings, raising money, campaigning for members of his party. The third year, everyone's focused and the media is focused and the politic is focused upon who's running for president, who might run in the fourth year. In the fourth year, everyone's running for president.
Redneck side, good to see you up in here. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying yourself as well as enjoying your Christmas holiday season so far.
President. So if Donald Trump wants to get substantial legislation done, this really has to be the year. And the other factor too is the House and the Senate could very well go over to the Democratic side after 2026. So this is really the 1 year Donald Trump has to really govern and to establish a legacy of getting legislation passed.
All right. Thank you so much, as always, for taking the time to join us and break it all down. We appreciate it.
You got it, Josh. Thank you so much.
And I do want to head over to our Fox 5 DC team for a look at some of the political headlines that they are covering this morning.
Do we see that at 8 o'clock?
Marissa? Nah, fuck that.
Anyway, some breaking news to get to. President Joe Biden is commuting sentences for 37 federal inmates who are on death row.
Yeah, you got it from Jess, by the way, Redneck side.
Their sentences will be changed to life sentences without the possibility of parole. In his decision, the president says he cannot allow the incoming administration to resume executions that he halted. 3 federal prisoners will continue to await execution when President-elect Trump takes office next month. Those 3 include one of 2 brothers responsible for the deadly Boston Marathon bombing, as well as the man who killed 9 people at a historically Black church in South Carolina.
Good to see you, Blair. Good morning, by the way.
I'm Jacqueline Matter with the Fox 5 News Alert this morning. The House Ethics Committee could release its report on former Congressman Matt Gaetz as early as today. Gaetz is being accused of drug use, sexual misconduct, and using campaign funds for personal use. He has never been charged and claims that he was fully exonerated by the Justice Department. Gaetz started doing cameo videos after dropping his bid as President-elect Trump's Attorney General. Steve?
Cameo videos.
Checking some other top stories.
All right, those were just some of the political headlines that our Fox 5 DC team is working on this morning. We always check in with our different affiliates for their live coverage as they cover everything from politics to top stories. Time now 8:12 on the East Coast and 5:12 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next several hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. Do want to head to a quick 2-minute commercial break, but a lot more Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. The time 8:14.
Just gotta love when you got a live streamer who knows exactly where all the fucking cuts are.
East Coast and 5:14 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories from across the country and across the world. Taking a live look here
Pablo.
at the White House as
Say it louder.
President-elect Donald Trump hits the stage in Arizona over the weekend, while Washington prepared for some big changes. I do want to send it over live to Madeline Rivera. She joins us now live with much more on what's going on. Madeline, thank you so much for being here. Good morning.
Hi, good morning to you, Josh. Good to be with you. That's right. President-elect Trump in his speech
Terrible
touched
audio,
on
woman.
a bunch of topics, from threatening to regain control of the Panama Canal to taking aim at...
Where's the Fox engineers, motherfucker? How come a guy like me's got better audio than this bitch?
EI initiatives, and he relished in the idea of an incoming GOP trifecta, even as last week's spending fight indicates he'll have to overcome divisions within his own party next year.
And not only did we reclaim the White House, we also took back the U.S. Senate, and we won the largest popular vote majority.
So what he just did right there is he swiped this top headline to run the headline because he knew exactly what she was there to talk about. He just swiped her ass. And then right now, as this video is playing, he's telling her, telling the other side, Fox's other side, hey, you guys are popping in and out. Like, you guys need to fix this. And then we've got 2 minutes to run this, blah, blah, blah. Guaranteed. 1,000%.
House Republicans in a presidential year since 1928. That's a pretty good thing.
While President-elect Trump celebrated, President Joe Biden, still in the Oval Office, signed a government funding bill over the weekend. Biden described the measure as a compromise. He says of the agreement, neither side got everything it wanted, but it rejects the accelerated tax cuts for billionaires sought by Republicans and ensures the government continues to operate at full capacity. House Republicans are facing another small majority next year, meaning they'll likely have to compromise with Democrats again to get legislation across the finish line.
We have differences of opinion, but the issue is our humanity and trying to...
You're all good, brother Pablo. You're all good, my man. There's zero, like, I don't want you feeling like there's obligation. Don't even worry about it, my man.
And
I
strengthen
appreciate
the
you.
American family. That's the spirit with which I come to this work.
Last week's chaotic spending fight revealed the scope of billionaire Elon Musk's influence. A bipartisan agreement failed after Trump and Musk criticized it, forcing lawmakers to scramble for another solution. But one Republican senator says Musk's input actually led to a better outcome.
They dumped over 1,500 pages on us. And Elon Musk, using the tool of Twitter, brought transparency to the entirety of it. The American public were shocked. And President Trump was able to bring his weight to the table and say, look, this has got to stop. This has got to be skinny down. This has got to change.
Trump did not weigh in on the funding bill, but he downplayed Musk's influence.
She's still fucked up. Come on, Fox. I don't expect that shit from the mainstream. I expect that shit from a small-time streamer. You know what I mean?
Saying he will not be president. Josh.
All right, Madeline Rivera there at Fox News. Thank you so much, as always, for being here with us.
You got it, Josh.
Appreciate you, Diggo.
All right,
What's
taking
up?
a live look once
Merry
again
Christmas,
over
by the
at
way.
the White House. I
Good morning.
want to remind you that Trump's inauguration set for January 20th. We're going to have all kinds of coverage here leading up to it. And on that day, we'll have Andrew Kraft and Austin Westfall in the hot seat as they do bring you every event live, raw, and unfiltered as it happens. Again, you can watch that here on January 20th. Do have to sneak.
Nope.
In Coney Island with the very latest.
Okay, now we're going to go ahead and skip some of this right here because I don't care about what this is. There's some shit going on with the, there's a subway. Okay, this morning, I believe a woman, I can't remember if it was a woman that did it or the woman was a victim. I couldn't remember, but there was some sort of killing. I don't think it was a shoot. Well, we'll find out because I'll get a little bit.
Accused of demanding sex from Lieutenant Quatisha Epps in exchange for giving her opportunities to earn overtime pay.
Okay, no, that's a different issue. But there's that, and it's something regarding a subway in New York. It's in the news somewhere in here. So
Breslow, thank you so much for joining us here.
Running
on
the
this
headlines right
Monday,
now.
December 23rd, 2024, getting close to the
Yo,
new-
my man Carney up in the building for his third month, by the way. I very much appreciate you, kind sir. Thank you for that. Goes a long way, my man. So yeah, we're gonna find the headlines right now.
We are going to head to a quick 2-minute
No, we're
commercial
not.
break, but so much more news to
See,
get to.
skip
So
through
we're going
that.
to be tracking. What I wanted to ask you next, overall, what do you expect in 2025 when you talk about the overall big picture? Will it be the same as
housing market
we've seen? Can we see maybe some slight differences?
Well, the conventional wisdom is it's going to be a continuation of what's been going on, and that is a little bit higher inventory, the higher interest rate environment with the 30-year fix somewhere in the sixes, maybe around 7, and there's going to be decent activity. Now,
that's pretty much all I need to hear on that. You know, we're not really going into housing right now, but because we got some headlines that we got to get to for real. All right, so regards to the Amazon strike, everybody, we covered this on Friday. On Friday, we covered a bit about the Amazon strike. So we're going to go ahead and get some information on that.
Images that we are keeping an eye on. First, though, it's 8:35 on the East Coast and 5:35 on the West Coast. My name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here for the next couple hours to bring you all of your top stories and live events.
It is the
from
biggest
across the
issue
country
for Americans. Yes, it is actually the biggest issue. 100%.
and across
Like
the world.
what we actually deal with internally. Yes. Not talking about outside entities or forces. You're right.
Do want to pop up this live image that we do have over in, I believe this is the location in New York that we've had via Fox News. As you can see, some of those Amazon workers who are still on strike. This has been going on for days now. And again, that strike still does continue ahead of the holidays. Now, Amazon has said these are not employees. They are essentially freelance workers, so to speak. However, the Teamsters union that represents them says they are actually workers. Again, this is a live image. As you can see, they are still on strike at this hour. If there are any sort of developments on really any of that, we'll make sure to bring those to you here on Live Now from Fox. But I do want to send it over to Fox Businesses, Max.
Yeah, I got you, Blair. I got you.
Emotional damage.
Shit, that's for you, Road Rage.
Gordon, who has much more on this strike.
Strikes against Amazon stretching into the weekend just days ahead of Christmas. More workers representing the International Brotherhood of Teamsters staying off the job, joining thousands of other members in New York City, Atlanta, Illinois, and San Francisco.
We want comparable wages to what other delivery drivers are making in the industry.
The ongoing strikes raising concerns that deliveries for holiday packages could be delayed, but Amazon says it remains confident there will be minimal impact given contingency plans.
Our focus is on keeping our employees and our partners safe, making sure that they can get in and out of our facilities to do the job. Most of them, they want to come to work, they want to do a good job, and they want to go home safely without being harassed, without being intimidated by the Teamsters or anybody else for that matter.
Senator Bernie Sanders also recently taken.
It was a set on fire case, Evil Rick? Man, I knew it was some crazy ass headline I read earlier.
At Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, writing
It's
on
in
X,
this
quote,
stream.
Amazon's Jeff Bezos has more money than could be spent in a million lifetimes. Why then does his company force workers to meet impossible quotas and treat them as disposable when they're injured?
Look, it's obvious that these workers are striking now to cause maximum disruption. I mean, Santa Claus is coming in a few days and those packages have to arrive on time.
Still, workers say they've been playing Santa for far too long with little reward for their efforts.
Why shouldn't we have a good Christmas? We're the ones that make Christmas happen for everybody in this country.
The Teamsters, however, are calling this the largest strike against Amazon in history. They say the strike
in history. Oh shit, I didn't know it was to that level.
Will continue until Amazon sits down with them at the bargaining table. In the city of Industry, California, Max Gordon, Fox Business.
Max, thank you so much. And again, another live look here. As you can see, those workers are still on strike. Again, days before Christmas and other holidays here, including Hanukkah. We do know that the strike is showing no signs of letting up anytime soon. It's also important to note that in statements provided to Live Now from Fox, Amazon says these are not their full contract or full employees, I should say. They are contract employees, but the Teamsters does say otherwise. Now, I do want to pop up some other live images that we are watching at this hour. We have outside of the courtroom here as Luigi Mangione is set to appear in a New York courtroom.
Yes, and we do know how this story goes. If you guys don't know, I saw it right before I started the live, the actual result of this, and all he was doing. I mean, look at the humongous media crowd back there. That's all media. Anyways, so the guy that killed the healthcare CEO, Luigi Maggioni, or whatever his last name is pronounced. Anyways, he just went to court to say guilty or not guilty, and he claimed not guilty. So we don't need to see the ordeal. Like, look at this. Look at this fucking media. This is insane. This is inside. Outside's fucking insane. Like, that's crazy what gets insane media coverage. Like, because they know that they can sell these stories. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. All right, we're gonna get into Israel. We got your guys' favorite spokesperson in the entire globe. So here we go, everybody. There's a couple of nicknames for our homeboy that our people in the chat will say. So anyways, let's go ahead and tune in.
West Coast, my name is Josh Breslow, and I'm here to bring you all of your top stories and live events from across the country and across the world. We are keeping an eye right now on the briefing with the Israeli government. It looks like David Mentzer is speaking. Let's pop up the audio and listen in.
Public Diplomacy Directorate here in the office of the Prime Minister this Monday, the 23rd of December, day 444 of the October 7th war. This could be the last briefing before Christmas, so allow me to wish you a very Merry Christmas to your families and a Happy New Year and a very Happy Hanukkah as well to you and your families. A very quick update from me and then to your questions. First, on the Houthis, following the missile...
They need to fix that little fucking... They're going to fix it. I mean, I hope.
At Israel in the wee small
Crackling
hours of
sound.
Saturday morning, which hit a playground in Tel Aviv. The Prime Minister reiterated that in the same way as Israel has acted forcefully against Iran's terror proxies in its axis of evil, so too Israel will act forcefully and with determination, no matter how long it takes, against the Houthis. Israel is not alone in this stand
Here we go, Mister. Here we go.
Against terror. The US and other countries see the Houthis as a threat to international maritime navigation, but also to the international order as well. Next, an operational update in Gaza. In the last 2 days, the IDF has conducted intelligence-based strikes on Hamas in Gaza. Yesterday evening, a Hamas terrorist who was operating in the humanitarian area in Khan Yunis was targeted. In Bet Lahia and Bet Hanun, troops eliminated terrorists and their infrastructure above and below ground. As always.
Good morning, Brother Wolfheim. Good to see you, my man, as well as Mr. By the way, thank you for always dropping us breaking news as it's fucking happening. By the way, you're really good at this shit. So I'd love to actually have you on my team, like for real, in the media sphere. So I very much appreciate you, my man.
Prior to these strikes, many steps are taken to mitigate harm to civilians. We scan the areas, we use precise munitions, aerial surveillance, and on-the-ground intelligence as well. Again and again, Hamas terrorists systematically abuse civilian infrastructure and Gazans in violation of international law. The Hamas death cult wants to sacrifice Gazans on the altar of public opinion. The IDF targets this war against Hamas in defense of both Gazans and the citizens of Israel. And next, the latest figures from COGAT and their work getting aid into Gaza. In the last week alone, 1,025 humanitarian aid trucks carrying food, water, medical...
And actually, believe it or not, what he's saying right here, I have actual video proof in Israel coming out of Gaza. Endless fucking miles of trucks empty that are leaving out of Gaza. And I got that from inside sources in Israel. Okay? You know what I mean? Like, I actually see what's going, like, I've seen the video of these fucking trucks going straight into Gaza. Right there. And then them coming out empty. So they're actually doing it. They're actually fucking doing the shit. You know what I mean? Like, you see this actually happening.
Medical supplies
It's
and
not
shelter
bullshit.
were brought into Gaza in the same period. 1,076 trucks were distributed within Gaza to warehouses and humanitarian shelters in coordination with aid organizations and the international community. All the aid underwent security inspection. Look, we won't stop despite Hamas trying to steal the aid, to orchestrate hunger. The IDF, through Kogat, gets the aid into Gaza for aid organizations and the international community. On Friday, 5,000 liters of fuel went in, 100 patients and their caregivers from the Kamal Adwan and Al Auda hospitals were transferred to other active hospitals in Gaza by ambulances, together with the World Health Organization. So that's the end of our briefing here today. We'll now take your questions. Please put your questions in the chat.
Now, the questions are usually where we get the most information. This is typical, you know what I mean? But we get a lot of information out of the chat, you know, that is asking the questions. And a lot of the people that are in the chat are like journalists from around the world as well that are asking these questions. So, anyways, it's actually a very good. He'll probably talk about Iran right now. He probably will. He'll probably get questioned about the whole thing.
And we'll take each one of them one by one. Okay, first question I can see here is from Jody Cohen for Newsmax. On behalf of Israel, do you have any message for Newsmax viewers this Christmas and Hanukkah?
See, that was a Newsmax reporter right there that just asked that, or journalist that just asked that question. Probably a journalist and reporter at the same time. But anyways, those are the people that are asking the questions.
Thank you very much for that question, Jody, for Newsmax. Well, actually, the Prime Minister will release a special Christmas message tonight, but allow me to say to our Christian and Jewish friends around the world, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. When it comes to Christmas, it's supposed to be a time for goodwill to all men and peace on earth. As we come to the end of 2024, it's certainly a chance for us to look back. Yes, we have lost 818
I see you, Papa.
Of our precious sons and daughters, our soldiers, the finest amongst us. Too many of our people killed by terrorism. But also, just look at what Israel has achieved, the collapse of Iran's proxies around the world, with thanks to the Biden administration for their support, but also the Trump administration pledging to take forward the Abraham Accords to new countries to spread peace, but also how resilient Israel has been. A year ago, Israel was on the back foot. We were attacked on October the 7th by barbarism. It was certainly an attack on Judeo-Christian values which I know viewers of Newsmax take very seriously. We were attacked on 7 fronts, from Hamas, from Syria, from Lebanon, from Yemen, from the Iraqi Shias, from Judea and Samaria, from Iran directly in 12 months. All of
which he's not fucking wrong.
These fronts have been pushed right back. Thank God, because of the strength and the belief and the dedication of our people, thanks to the prayers of people that watch Newsmax and people of goodwill around the world, Israel is poised to achieve the greatest victory in our history. Hamas taken apart, Hezbollah again taken apart, the Assad regime collapsed. And with the Houthis too focused, too blinded by their own jihadism to read the signs. So it has been an incredible 12 months for Israel. Thank God Israel has defied the critics and come out on top. Yes, at a heavy price, a heavy, heavy price, but with the prospect of a more peaceful future for all the people of the region. And finally, let me say to everyone watching, of course, we say this again, peace, shalom, is ultimately what we yearn for. So happy Christmas, happy Hanukkah, a peaceful new year from the State of Israel. And
have a wonderful rest of your day, by the way, Tiffany. Appreciate you for being in here.
Of course, shalom.
Be safe out there.
Next question I can see here is from Fred Ager, and it's about Iran. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Ismail Bakai said in a news conference that Syria should not become a haven for terrorism, and that the people of Syria should decide on Syria's future without destructive foreign interference, and that Iran does not have direct contacts with the new ruling authority. What's Israel's response or comment to such a statement from Iran? Thank you very much for that question, Fred. I must say, when I read that statement from Iran's foreign ministry, I did check the date to see if it wasn't the 1st of April, because Iran saying that Syria should not become a haven for terrorism is taking the ridiculous to the extreme. Iran embedded itself inside Syria, and it caused Syria to become a failed state. Syria, of course, imprisoned its own people, with tens of thousands of people killed by the Assad regime, 500,000 people dead caused by the Assad regime in their civil war. Iran is the creator of all of this hardship and, to be frank, evil, which has been inflicted on the Iranian people, on the Syrian people, but also on Israel's people. So we say to Iran, the regime in Iran, not the people of Iran. You've been pushed back. Israel has taken apart your air defenses. Israel has exposed your hatred towards our people. And ultimately, of course, we know very, very well that Iran, the regime in Iran, is the head of the octopus. We've destroyed major parts of Iran's air defense system and missile manufacturing capabilities. We've demolished a significant component of the Iranian nuclear program. They are exposed, but together with our allies, we will prevent this Iranian regime from obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's always been our top priority.
Cool, but where's the hostages? Like, where are they at? Like, everyone's pushed back. Hamas is not even like barely a fucking thing anymore. Where are the fucking hostages?
Okay, next question from Joel Pollack at Breitbart News. Iran is in the midst of an electricity and fuel shortage. What are the implications for Israel's strategy on Iran? Would Prime Minister Netanyahu consider offering advice to ordinary Iranians on how to obtain energy the way he once did when Iran suffered a water shortage? Thank you for that question, Joel. In the last question, I made clear that Israel has a problem with the Iranian.
Sadly, that's what I think that's the majority. Sadly, that's what I do think.
Regime and not with the Iranian people. Just in the last 2 weeks or so, the Prime Minister released a message to the people of Iran.
Yeah, the new one that's going to be after the Ukraine scam is over. Who you're going to do that with? Shit.
People of Iran. And he highlighted how much of their precious funds, the treasure of Iran, has been spent on terrorism to try and destroy this country, Israel. And how much of their precious resources has been diverted to try and destroy Israel, not for the betterment of the Iranian people. And also how much of the precious Iranian resources have been taken away from spending inside Iran, which means that their energy sector is in shatters, their health sector is in shatters, and they have tried simply to divert attention from their own failures as a regime, their own failures as a government, and try to divert attention with hatred towards my country. It has been tried by other Arab leaders in the past. It has always been shown to be a failure. The people of Iran know what the Iranian regime is up to. And the Prime Minister, in that message just a couple of weeks ago, made extremely clear that Israel, the people of Israel, are with the people of Iran as it stands up to this brutal, brutal regime.
Next question.
Okay. Any other questions? Just scroll down. That was the last. Okay. Another question from Fred Ager.
Absolutely, Pablo. Be safe
Prime
out there, man.
Minister Najib Mikati said during his first visit to the southern front lines in Marajun, the most important is the enemy's withdrawal from all the lands it encroached on during its recent aggression. Then Lebanon's army can carry out its task in full. What is Israel's response to Lebanon Prime Minister accusing Israel of attacking Lebanon's state and violating its territorial integrity? Thank you for that question, Fred. Look, we currently have a ceasefire with Lebanon and Hezbollah. The length of this ceasefire depends on what happens in Lebanon. So my message from the Prime Minister's office is that we will adhere to the agreement, but we will also enforce it. We will respond forcefully, as the Prime Minister has said, to any violation. And the US understands this very, very well. We will maintain the full freedom of military action. So if Hezbollah does indeed violate the agreement and tries to rearm itself, we will attack. If it tries to rebuild the terrorist infrastructure near the border, we will attack. If it launches a rocket, if it digs a tunnel, if it brings in a truck carrying rockets, Israel will defend itself. We will respond forcefully to any violation. We are committed to this agreement. We are committed to this agreement to get our own people back into their homes in sovereign Israeli territory, but also to allow the Lebanese people to free themselves from Hezbollah that has turned Lebanon, together with Iran again, into a failed state. So our message is this ceasefire will continue for as long as it is adhered to. We say this very, very clearly, that quiet will be met by quiet, and fire will be met by fire. Okay, I think that is the last question here today.
Shit.
Right, that's the last question. Okay, so there'll be no, there shouldn't be a briefing tomorrow or on Christmas Day, the 25th. And we'll take it from there as to when the next briefing will be. So thank you for joining us. In the meantime, you can contact us in the usual way. Please do stay safe. Happy Christmas, Happy New Year, and of course, a very happy Hanukkah to all our viewers. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. That was David Menser there, the Israeli.
All right. That was good enough.
Government spokesperson as he holds his briefing. Now, as you heard, there are not going to be any other briefings.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I needed to hear right there. Boom. All right, ladies and gentlemen, much love, honor, and respect to all of you legends. Thank you all for hanging out with us this beautiful, beautiful morning. Make sure on the way out, guys, that you guys hit that like button. It's very much appreciated. It goes a long way. It's absolutely free to do so, by the way. Also, stick around. We're going to be rating our friend over there, Jess White. You know, she's live as well. So let's go ahead and send all of our love over there. And we will see you guys tomorrow morning for more of the world's craziest headlines. And as per usual, we will be covering it. With that being said, I always appreciate all of you guys. Hopefully you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay blessed, and we'll see you very soon.
From the depths of darkness, a voice in